So transmedia storytelling represents a process where integral elements of a fiction get dispersed systematically across multiple delivery channels to create a unified and coordinated entertainment experience. So using this definition for our ARG, we will firstly use social media to give subtle hints that will point the existing audience of Microsoft Game Studios in the right direction and instruct them to watch their TV screens closely for clues to the launch of the next game. So a short TV advertisement will be distributed worldwide, which will promote flights to ancient Greece in 700 BC. An unsuspecting audience will obviously be confused by this and probably dismiss the date as a typo error. However, an intuitive audience of existing fans of the genre will put together the pieces of the puzzle on screen. And so the date, the location and the images of Mount Olympus, where the Greek gods lived, help to tie it all to the Greek mythology and shows that something big is happening. It will then take an audience with high attention to detail to be able to find the website link on the advertisement that will take them to the flight booking website. So once the user goes through the process and books the flights to ancient Greece, a QR code will appear on the tickets. And when scanned, this will take them to the entry point or the rabbit hole of the game called Pandora's World. So now we are in Pandora's World, where players, becoming the character Elpis, the Greek goddess of hope, will watch her open possibly the most dangerous box in the world, which contains the 7 evils: violence, death, disease, greed, madness, sorrow and envy. This is where the game begins. So the player's mission is to undo what Pandora has done and save humankind from being plagued by these evils forever. But to do so, they must simply retrieve each evil and return them to be contained within the box. Sounds easy, right? However, in order to complete this mission, the player must overcome many obstacles caused by the evils that will test both their emotional and mental strength. Do the players have what it takes to save the world before time runs out? There are 2 possible final outcomes of this game. Either the player completes the goal and brings peace into the world by eradicating the evils, or they fail to gather all 7 and are punished by being sent to Hades in the underworld forever. So now that you know what the game is about and how to complete it, why would an audience even go through all of this and want to play it? This game narrative from the Pandora's Box myth is obviously not what the original myth told. However, we have used world building to build an entire new world to broaden the storyline and create alternative narratives based on different characters and locations. This allows the audience to immerse themselves in the experience and follow different paths that leads to different outcomes. Similar to the Lost experience, an audience can collectively collaborate through digital platforms such as forums that sit outside of the games. The players work together in the beginning to decode and construct conclusions from the TV advertisement to figure out when and where is the launch of the game. This conforms to the idea of the hive mind by Gestalt, in which a group of people form a community and share their knowledge, thoughts and resources in order to figure out the augmented reality game. The audience will like that the game has drillability, according to Jenkins, where they can dive deeper into the information given to better understand the Greek mythology. For example, in the game, the players must complete the mission before Kronos, the Greek god of time, dies. So this means that the time to save the world will eventually run out and the player will fail the mission. Only an audience who know Greek mythology will understand this reference. Additionally, the game provides extractability for the audience. The so-called 7 evils that escape Pandora's box can unfortunately never be put back in or demolished in real life. In today's world, everyone has experienced these evils in their lives and understand the impact that they have. Like Avatar did, we are trying to show that humanity will always have this dark side, but we can overcome it. Listen to hear what these gamers had to say about the game Pandora's World. Hello and welcome to the Gods and Games podcast, where we talk about all things gaming and Greek mythology. My name is Rachel Johnston.
And my name is Amy McGoldrick.
And today we will be sharing our thoughts on a new Microsoft Game Studios production called Pandora's World. So let's jump right in. So if you don't already know, the main narrative of this game comes from the Greek myth of Pandora's box, right? So this is where she basically damns humankind by opening the box and letting the 7 evils of the world escape.
Yeah, which are disease, death, sorrow, violence, madness, greed, and envy.
This whole game revolves around finding these evils again and putting them back into the box, but you have to go through lots of obstacles that are caused by these evils along the way to get to the end and to complete the final mission. So Amy, tell us about your experience playing the game and sort of what you thought about it.
Yeah, so firstly, I obviously saw the trailer video at the start that automatically plays when you click on the game. Here we get to actually watch Pandora open the box and all 7 evils come flying out. So we're almost like a fly on the wall, just literally watching her unknowingly destroy the world. And I actually really like the way this game starts because you can almost already sort of figure out what the mission will be without having to have any text on the screen or being told what to do. You sort of just like figure it out for yourself.
Yeah. And I don't know if you noticed this, but there's like a lot of hidden meanings within the game, so they're actually quite hard to spot, as it's obviously quite a fast-paced game. But when we watch the box open at the very start, worms just like randomly start crawling out as well. And originally I thought, like, what does worms have to do with Greek mythology or with Pandora's box? But then when I played the game again and thought about it more, I realised that the worms crawling out is a reference to the saying, opening the can of worms. So what the game producers are saying basically is that Pandora's opening the box and she's starting something that will cause many unforeseen problems in the future, which we obviously know it does.
Yeah, I really like that one. Yeah, I noticed a few hidden meanings throughout the game as well. So like continuing on after the trailer, we fall down this almost black hole kind of thing where you're spinning and falling and we see the loading screen. So we know that the game is officially starting.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, this is when we're brought to the very first sort of like mini mission or obstacle, you might want to say.
Yeah, so you've fallen down this deep dark pit and you have to somehow find a way out. So that was the first evil, which was kind of a play on words kind of thing where like it is literally a deep pit of sorrow becoming real life, a real physical thing that you have to try and escape. So that's sort of a reference to mental health and how people can get depression and feel hopeless and may find it, hard to find a way out. So I think this is a really interesting that we don't really see in other games. Like there's depth to this game.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's like really good to have a game that sort of sheds lights on these issues and sort of like in a fun way that we can like really think about it. And obviously a younger audience won't understand this reference and they'll be like, oh, let's just escape this fun game. But I think it really appeals to an older audience as it makes the game a bit more mature and interesting.
Anyway, so we'll not go into depth into the other obstacles because obviously we don't want to spoil the game for you guys, but trust us, it is really good. Like from the first obstacle, I think you can already tell the sort of tone and get the vibe for the rest of the game.
Yeah. And I just want to say one thing before we end. I find this really interesting. So as you will see anyways whenever you start the game, but while we're completing these obstacles and getting through the game, we're also getting video messages from a guy called Kronos, who I've actually found out, I didn't know this, but he is a Greek god of time.
Oh.
So he is dying throughout and he keeps getting worse and worse as you conquer these obstacles. So you have a time limit on you because obviously once he dies the game is over. So because Kronos equals time, so if Kronos dies, so does your time to complete the mission. I hope that wasn't really confusing and like you get what I mean. But I really like that they sneak this in here. It's a really nice little hidden detail that I'd imagine not many people would understand. But as I did, the curiosity got the better of me and I researched what the name meant because it's very random and I thought it has to mean something. So yeah, there's probably more that I've missed, but I think that's really cool.
Yeah, if any of you guys also have a sharp eye and find any, like please let us know in the comments and we'll discuss them in the next episode. But I think that'll do us there. So that was our quick little overview of the game and what we thought about it. Personally, I really like this game. I can see myself playing more games like this.
Yeah, I agree. I had a lot of fun completing these missions and learn more about Greek mythology and like the deeper meanings to them. So I would recommend to you guys, you should definitely give it a go.
So that's us. Thank you guys so much for listening and joining us today. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so just message us or comment below and we'll see you guys in the next episode. So goodbye from me, Amy McGoldrick.
And goodbye from me, Rachel Johnston.